Good morning. Good morning, and welcome. Welcome, everyone. If this is your first time visiting us, we invite you to pick up a welcome packet against the back wall after the service. And if you would like a tour of our grounds, we will be happy to show you around these beautiful grounds that we have here. So this morning, we have a special guest, and I am so honored and happy and joyful to welcome Brian Lotman to do our opening music for us. So Brian, come on up.
So you can participate with me. The more people we have singing together, the more powerful this will be. So I like to introduce Sanskrit mantras from ancient India, and this one's very, very simple. So simple anyone can do it. And the words are Purnam Saranam. The word Purnam means wholeness. Saranam means surrender. Purnam Saranam. So this is your chance to shine by singing together as one CSL chorus. So you can chant with me as you get it. And we'll have an intention that everyone really feels the energy. We'll do a little meditation right after so you can kind of slide into the energy. Purnam Sarnam 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 Purnam Saranam 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 take in 5 deep breaths, breathing in the light of that mantra. Filling your body with light. And just set our intention to merge with the presence. Just letting go of this entire world. And just one final intention that this energy continue to flow through us and awaken our soul throughout our service. We may truly feel connected to the divine. And so it is, and so it will be.
Thank you so much, Brian, for setting the tone. It's so beautiful, so peaceful. And so now for a more formal introduction of who Brian is, the wandering monk. Let me see here. So after the service, Brian will be offering a workshop in awakening higher states of consciousness. And so I encourage you all to sign up. If this was something, the energy that you enjoyed, you can participate and have more of it after the service, after the social hall at 11:30 to 1. And it will be here in the sanctuary. And so thank you, Brian, again. I'm looking for the order here. So I'm Judy Carmi, as many of you know me, and I'd like to welcome you to the Center for Spiritual Living, where we empower people to live spiritually fulfilling lives. The practitioners in service today are myself and Reverend Mary, and we will be available at the bell after the service for prayer. So please, if there's anything heavy on your heart, on your mind, that you would like prayer for, please join us and come forward and request it. If you could now turn and say hello to your neighbor in back of you and wave to the camera. All at once, the multitasking. And we're saying hello and we're waving to the camera to the people that are watching online everywhere. And there are many, many out there. I would like to thank other members in service this morning and all week long, as a matter of fact, the sound team, the greeters, the ushers. There's so many people. Judy, especially, dedicated Judy every single week, who's here for our music. And so thank you, all that participate in making this service possible. If you could now please silence your phones in case you haven't already done so. And as I begin with our weekly announcements, I would like to invite Roger Gray up to talk about his upcoming class. And so, yes, Roger and Bobby Gray, welcome, and tell us about what's coming up.
All right, I'm excited to be here and to offer the church a very exciting psychic development class. It's going to be starting on October 29th, which is this Wednesday. It's going to be from 6 to 8 here in the social hall. And for only $83, with a $3 discount if you pay in cash or a check. To sign up, call the Center for Spiritual Living, or there is a sign-up sheet along the wall in the foyer. What you will learn in our class is how psychic senses work and many other things. But before we get into that, this is my wife, Bobby Gray.
Most of you already know me as Bobby G, and I've been doing psychic readings for people for 30 years. I started when I was 5. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And
a licensed clinical social worker for 30 years, too. We're both therapists, and I'm a hypnotherapist, and she's a psychotherapist. So what you will learn is how psychic senses work and how to distinguish them from mental clutter. Also, how to distinguish psychic information from imagination, which is critical when we're beginning to learn. How to communicate with your guides and higher self, which is essential. How to read auras, and also how to discover and develop your own psychic gifts. Break through blocks to your spirituality, which is essential. Because as our Buddhist friend knows through his meditations, there's quite a few levels of things that you have to face and challenge as you begin to open to your own spirituality. And our class, part of our class is how to access that and how to resolve it. How to expand your psychic healing and creative abilities and make better decisions from an expanded awareness. Why join? Well, whether you're new or experienced, this class will help you explore your potential faster, gain immediate access to guidance, and create positive life changes, which we all want. Our classes are experiential, not just lecture and reading. There it is. What makes our class unique is our combined talents. As Bobby said, she's been channeling for 30 years. Bobby's ability to channel spirit directly as an example for the class and as information source to guide you toward your own psychic abilities, and my ability to help you with the challenges of expanding your awareness, such as accessing old beliefs and taboos that hold you back and keep you playing small. Helping people to achieve more of their potential is what we both have been doing for over 30 years. Bobby and I have taught this class many times, and everyone who has applied themselves and used the tools and guidance they learned in class has had their lives improved dramatically in ways they couldn't imagine. The class is normally $200. Now, only $80 for an introductory offer for the church. The price will be going up next time I teach the class, so if you're interested, now is the time to join and save some money. The sign-up sheet and handouts for the class, like I said, is in the lobby along the wall, or simply call the church to sign up. Thank you for your time, and hope to see you there.
Thank you, Roger and Bobby Gray. And so now, let's continue with our announcements. We are having the Healing Sound Bath with crystal bowls with Phoebe Fazio on Friday, October 31st, from 6:30 to 8. Our awareness newsletter folding day is coming up Thursday, October 30th, and we surely can have help in this very social time of chatting and folding and being of service to the center. And so please join us in that activity. That's on Thursday from 8 to 10 a.m. in the social hall, folding our awareness newsletter. There is a simple offering leadership brunch on Saturday coming up November 1st from 10 to 12 noon in the social hall. And so we're inviting those in leadership roles or committed to their acts of seva to join us in a simple brunch offering in gratitude for each of you going the extra mile for the center. At that time, we want to go over with you the updated 5-year vision for CSLR and receive your input or ideas before we go further. And so this is an opportunity, if you've thought of something that would enrich the center, please come and join us and let's hear from you. The board has been carefully crafting various aspects of the plan and are hopeful it meets everyone's expectations, but we're always open at the top. Having a vision is crucial for inspiring our future, so we appreciate your thoughts and ideas. And the endowment, CSLR endowment fundraiser, annual piggy bank reunion, and pancake breakfast hosted by CSLR Endowment Fund is coming up on Sunday, November 2nd, from 9:30 to 12 noon in the social hall. So please fill those piggy banks that have been with you all year, or if you didn't pick one up, you can still pick one up today and fill it up before you bring it back. And so this is on November 2nd, where we will have the piggyback reunion and celebrate with the pancake breakfast. Daylight savings time is coming up once again as we go for another year around our sun, and that's November 2nd, so please remember to set your clocks back. And embodying our global vision, a path to diversity, equity, and inclusion, justice and belonging, is a new certificated class that Rob Ward, who is a ministerial student at this time, graduated from practitioner training with me together and is just going full speed ahead to become a minister, is offering. And this class will begin on Tuesdays, November 4th to December 16th. There will be no class on November 25th. That's just before Thanksgiving, I believe. But it is in your newsletter, and it is on a class that's being offered online. So please, I think it's probably the registration is in the foyer, and if you can check out the details, it sounds like a very interesting class. The Bliss team save an annual holiday gift basket raffle is also coming up, and tickets are on sale Sunday, November 9th to Sunday, December 14th. And so these baskets have been in the making for the last few weeks. They are pretty much filled up now, and we're ready to wrap them up. And as usual, they're so beautiful. And so if they will be on display very soon, and tickets will be available. And the Essence of Science of Mind with Reverend Mary will be on November 9th. And so this is for the announcements, except right now I'd like to invite Reverend Mary up to talk to us about our intention cards for the stewardship. And then we have Michael Forrester, who will join us up here to talk about why he is part of our congregation and what makes him keep going and donating. Come on up, Michael.
Thank you, Judy. The cards are in the back. I don't have a show me card with me at the moment, but it's just to commit yourself in a way that fits you, in a way that fits your budget, to supporting this center next year. Luckily, I am able to give my whole year's contribution in January out of my IRA, so I get a tax deduction, which is really great. My accountant loves that. Don't forget to get the money to the church. And so I love that. And so that's why during Sunday, when you see the basket go by me, I just kind of bless it. Is she not putting money in? Oh, she did in January. So it's a wonderful thing supporting this center. And Mike is our going to talk about why he is supporting the center, and I think you'll enjoy his view of this. Come on up, Mike.
Good morning. Well, my talk may be a little unconventional. It was inspired by my wife, who passed away 6 years ago this month. But from our presence here at the center, we carried that presence with us when we made our trips to Costco. And that evolved into the Church of Costco. What happened there was we noticed as we were walking through the many aisles that it kind of reminded us of the many different paths that are available to us through this church. And we would contact people that we met. My wife was very gregarious. And sometimes after our journey through Costco and seeing all the different paths and becoming aware of items that we weren't aware of before, we would sit down in the food court, and oftentimes it was so crowded we had to share our table with other people. And the conversations that evolved there were pretty interesting. She was very conscious of people's moods and where they were at mentally and emotionally, and we would talk about if they were suffering from a loss or suffering from a disappointment or experiencing joy at the graduation of a granddaughter from college. We would talk to them about it. And at the end of that talk, after 15 or 20 minutes, we would offer prayers with those people. Prayers of pleading for resolutions to problems, or prayers for comfort, or prayers of thanks. And it got to the point where just about every other time we went to Costco, we had those encounters. But where that originated was here. There are many paths available to us by coming here. And the variety of paths are constantly changing. All one has to do is walk out in the hall out there by the social hall and look at all the different posters on the walls to see what's available to us. And not only are the courses available, but there's other things. Social clubs, social hall activities, book clubs, meditation groups, yoga, and all of those offer us an expanding awareness of what's going on around us. We can all benefit from becoming more aware of where we are connected with the universe we live in. It not only takes place here in this physical building, but we have outreach to many different organizations in the community. And those connections are important too. And they need support, not only for the building, for heat and cooling, water, and those things, but also to support the other organizations in town which are tending to many needs of the people in our community. For instance, a few weeks ago, I was at a veterans fair in Anderson at the fairgrounds, and there were about 60 organizations there offering services and comfort to veterans. And that's just one example of what this center does and what it offers to us and to the community. And for that reason, I think we need to seriously contemplate what kind of service, what kind of benefit, what kind of support we can offer the center. So I would ask you in the next few days to contemplate what it is that you could contribute to the center. Thank you.
Okay. I wasn't supposed to be here this morning, and we have the women's retreat, and there's at least 30 ladies up at the retreat. And Lynn Fritz was supposed to be the speaker, but Lynn went, I want to go to the retreat. And most of the women are up there except Judy and I. And so Sue emailed me, can you do the talk? Of course. What? I was up till midnight the last 2 nights working on this. So we're a little bit discombobulated, and you're going to do the bell, and I'll do the prayer. Okay, that's what. Okay, let's have the bell. Okay. There's such a light here this morning, just in the air, even though it may be raining or snowing in the areas around us. There's such a beautiful energy of light. And that light is part of the love of God and the joy and friendship we share here in this room. And I know this morning as we contemplate our place in the world of the Center for Spiritual Living and what we have time to give, time to contribute, time to share with others, it brings such great grace into our lives. The grace of God, the grace of our own soul following us around in all that we do. I give great thanks for being here this morning, knowing we all had another choice. I could have gone to the retreat, but here I am in my service as a practitioner and a minister. Judy in service as a pianist, and so many of you serving in your own ways in all the different options we have here each week to come and be together. So I give great thanks, knowing we do take good care of each other, spiritually, mentally, friendship-wise. And it's a joy to walk through those doors every time and feel that light and that grace as we accept it into our heart. Thank you, God, for this center and everyone here. It is so greatly appreciated. And so it is. And where'd Judy? My talk is right there. I usually would be ringing the bell and introducing the minister, and Judy would introduce the minister. And thank you, sweetie. Here we go. Okay. Oh, the topic is eternal light. How did I know that? Eternal light symbolizes the everlasting presence of God and a divine, unchanging faith. You know, that's really it, isn't it? Everlasting presence of God and unchanging truth. It just doesn't change. In a religious context, eternal light represents divine glory and perpetual holiness. You know, the pictures of Jesus or Mary or saints with the halos around their head. It's really a perpetual holiness. And so often we talk about this center here in Redding as being a beacon of light. We say that quite a bit in our practitioner meetings. A beacon of light that is guiding people as they hear about us to spiritual illumination. Now, if you were here when Dr. James was here, that's when I started. He used to say, most people find us when they're in pain. It takes some pain to get you to walk through the door. And then maybe they met someone that comes here and talked to them. Or perhaps they heard about all of our events on Meetup or something, and they thought, maybe I've got the courage to walk in those doors. I found the center in 1999, and it was called the Redding Church of Religious Science. It had been a year after I got a divorce, and I was working 12 days, it felt like it, 12 hours a day for a long time. And finally I thought, I've got to meet people. What do I do? And I thought the Women's Refuge Crab Feed should be a safe place to do that. So I went in and paid a ticket and saw a lot of business people around town. It was very nice. And I went up to the bar and I said to the lady, I'd like a glass of wine. And she took one look at me and she said, this is your first time out, isn't it? I was shocked. Well, I had a business suit on and I had a collar up to here. I was safe until I met her. And she said, come with me. And she took me over to a table with 8 people, and they were all from this church. All of them. Talk about a God thing. It was really, really great. So I started asking him questions. Well, what do you believe? And all this. And I went, that sounds like something I would really like. And so the next morning, I came here, and like some of you have had it happen to you, Dr. James was talking to you. And I cried and cried and cried and cried and signed up for classes that day. It was so awesome. Months later, Reverend Lynn, this is how we got to know each other. She was working at Roseburg Lumber in the warehouse in different places. And every so often, I would see her at a meeting. There were business meetings of people that owned lumber yards and logging operations and people that did business with loggers. So we'd see each other at these meetings. And one day, we both saw ourselves on a big field trip that went out into the woods on a new logging operation. And at one point, we were sitting on a log this tree that had just been cut, and they took the limbs off. And for some reason, Lynn and I sat down on the log together. And she looked at me and she said, what is it with you that you're always so calm? And I told her all about this center and what a beautiful philosophy this is, the Science of Mind philosophy. Well, she came the next Sunday, and guess what? She signed up for classes, and the rest is history because she's now a minister, and she's a really great minister, really great. So this spirituality that we share, even though we don't sometimes recognize we do when we're sitting on a log in the woods, that it symbolizes truth. knowledge, hope, and divinity. But it's often seen as the opposites of the negative things we often see in life. So if we can stay the positive part, if we can stay to the knowledge that, and the hope and the divinity, and hope is the word I don't often use because hope, I want it now. I don't want to hope for it tomorrow. I want it now. That's the practitioner in me. Because the other thing is it doesn't represent sin. We don't represent sin. And I don't like that word either. Raised Catholic, there's a lot of ways to sin if you've been raised Catholic. And in the science of mind, it really means you missed the mark. You have your own idea of how you do something, and you do it for someone, and you miss the mark. You don't put your whole effort into it. You're just off the mark. Now, that's what science of mind calls a sin. And so you can correct that, obviously, because you set the mark. You said, this is how I do life, and this is how I help people, and this is how I whatever you do to help someone else. And yeah, maybe I did miss the mark, and I'll do better next time. So we've consciously created the mark for ourselves in a lot of activities in our life, and it's good to think about that. You know, you've often probably had a spiritual experience at the ocean, sitting on the beach, watching the waves come in. Maybe sitting in a forest, or the other day I was sitting on the porch and my roses were blooming in the pot next to me, and I thought, oh, they're so gorgeous. And then we had wind and rain, and so for one day I got to really enjoy those roses. And yesterday it was so windy, the trees were blowing over, and the carpet on the deck was flying down the deck, and I appreciated that. It was just watching it. The wind is so powerful. And I think of it as the wind of God. You know, blow a little freshness into your life. Just stand out there and let God blow some freshness into your life. Sometimes I feel like I'm a beacon of light. Now, I say that because some people tell me that, but when I do classes, I try to bring out the best in people and help them see the light in them. And as they do that, they go, oh, I see what you mean in you. So it's kind of a funny thing to admit it, but the whole talk is about eternal light, and it lives within us and all around us. It's always there. So when I walk around my house, now that my husband's passed and it's me and the cats, I am so grateful. I look at the paintings on the wall, I go, I love you. I look at the plants that Paul bought that I have to water and forget sometimes, but I go, okay, I love you. Here's some water. And may you live and be happy here. And then the pictures I bought from Sherry Miller when she had some of her photos for sale, or paintings for sale, I look at those, and it's a brother and sister Indian child. One, the sentinel watching out for everything, and then his sister who found her little lamb, and it's sucking on her finger, and it's so cute, and I just love them up, you know. So I work to create that love atmosphere, even though I may be by myself with the cats, but it feels like a really good energy in this place that I call home. And sometimes I'll be sitting there, and who knows how it happens. It's like a flashlight turned on in my mind. You ever have that? A flashlight, it just, and a new vision of something appears, or a new way of thinking something appears. And it's one of those wow moments that even your skin, you have to shake your arms, the skin is just tingling with this new awareness that I had not invited in, but it decided to come in anyway. So last night I thought I'd better look at the Science of Mind text if I'm giving a Science of Mind talk. And I paused in what is called Part 5, the teaching of Jesus from the New Testament. That's, having been raised Catholic, that's an important chapter for me. Because as Catholic, I was never encouraged to read the Bible, but when I read Earnest Holmes' interpretation of what it says, I go, okay, I see that. You know, Jesus is considered to be the light of the world, because he was a source of light that shifted the culture of humanity when he lived and after he died. Shifted the whole culture of humanity. And it's been that way for millions of people. Just those short years, how he shifted the culture of humanity. So in John 8:12, in the New King James Edition, it reads, "Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." Jesus told his disciples that his burden was light and his yoke was easy. The lessons he taught were not complicated or difficult. They were easy to understand. And that's why millions of people could understand what he was teaching and see him as an eternal light. Now, some believe he came to earth to rescue us from sin and death and to be our lamp, to light the way when all things are done and we take that step and pierce the veil and pass on. In Christianity, the words light of life is associated with Jesus offering eternal hope and salvation. And his teachings are seen as the source of everlasting illumination. You know, I was so glad when I came here and I could release the irritability I had with a place called hell. I could let go of that. What God that created you and me in love would ever do that? So we always have our way back to the light of God's love. In Judaism, the eternal lamp that sits in front of the ark is a literal and symbolic representation of this enduring presence of God in God's life and light. And I found this article this week, interesting how that happens, Expositions of Holy Scripture. And it talks all about the eternal light in 5 ways. 5 ways. The eternal light is the central heart of Christ, which is the sun, S-U-N, of the world. Now, okay, we're on earth, the sun's out there, the sun of the world. And God's light will endure like the sun. And when the sun is cold, a couple billion years from now, hopefully not too soon, his love will still last forever. The eternal light is the destination of those who keep their belief in the light of Christ and are not subject to the same fears that we face in our physical life. That's a challenging one, isn't it? Can we touch the light? Can we bring the light into our mind when we turn on the news, when we hear people talking about how bad things are? Can we turn the light on in our mind? Can we even pick up a flashlight? Okay, light, I'm ready to let go of all that stuff. I'm ready to feel the love of God everywhere present, knowing it's in every person and everywhere present. And the eternal light is the lasting and constant nature of the light. It contrasts this with temporary sources. We may go to a great workshop and you think, oh, that really changed my mind. And 6 months later, yeah, what was that all about? I don't know. But there are permanent sources of the presence of God that you can tap into. And I urge you to do that today. Number 4, the eternal light is an unwavering brightness which can illuminate and transform individuals, leading them towards spiritual growth and fulfillment. Now, I remember Michael Forrester's wife, Sin. What a delightful woman. She could walk up to anybody and talk about anything, and then at Costco say a prayer for him. I mean, isn't that great? She was one of a kind. She was just a beautiful woman. So we can open our eyes to see light and joy and happiness and peace and power and the presence of God, even in what, Safeway? Yeah, I bet we could. I bet we could. So in this state of endless illumination in Redding, California, we can be lifted up to emphasize the permanence of the presence of God around us, in us, and through us. And we can feel blessed by this nature that's such a gift to us. We have to open up our heart and open up our eyes and open up our arms and share it with everyone. The eternal light of the sun is also equated with God, representing perfect knowledge. And what would that be like, perfect knowledge? I don't know, but it's a potential, because God is the eternal source of all illumination. So sometimes, like this week, I looked at this title, I thought, Eternal Light, okay. God, share with me the key points of this talk. And it better be more than 10 minutes. Our talks are 27 minutes to 30 minutes, so I've got it timed perfectly. But, okay, I'm short a little bit here, God. Let's give me some more information, and I'll be moving around things on my desk, and I pick up the Science of Mind, flip through it. Okay, Jesus, okay. And I haven't read those chapters for years. In Matthew 5:14-16, it said, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and then put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. You are the light of the world. Let your life shine." In the same way, let your life shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Now, Sin did a good job of that, didn't she? That's so beautiful, that what you talked about. Reflecting Christ's light means living in a way that points others to the hope we have in God. People do ask me, "What do you mean you're a practitioner? What do you mean you're a minister? What do you mean?" And they conjure up their own image of what that meant to them as a child, which can be good and not always good. In Lake California, where I live, they have summer programs for the children. There'll be 60 to 80 kids in those programs, and they are thrilled. And we bring in out-of-town teachers that are just dynamic, and it's a fundamentalist center, a fundamentalist church, but that's all right. They're happy, they're learning, they're kind to each other, they treat each other with respect. You can't beat that. And so our lives become a living testimony of what we believe about safety, about love, about the eternal light that's always there for us. Living with eternity, and this is one thing I teach in my class. Okay, we're going to go from here, and we go into eternity, and I draw a big line with a big Superman line, and you're going into eternity. Is there anything that is hard to handle in this life that you'd like to get rid of and move beyond so you don't have to do it again? Don't take it with you. Leave it here. Find the gem, find the light, find the knowledge, so that as you're ready to move on, you're ready to really fly. I think of Paul when I see the clouds. He's sliding down that one, I know. And so I know, being the adventurer he is, he's having a wonderful time. And that's why I can't be sad. I can feel lonely, but that's up to me. So Paul writes in Ephesians, "Live carefully and wisely. Make the most of your time, because the days are short." We really don't know how long we're here. "Be mindful of your conduct. Use every opportunity well. And we are called to live intentionally, with an intention, and take our time and use it for a higher purpose." It says, "Live wisely, not foolishly. Become discerning in our thoughts and our actions. Be proactive and intentional." That's an interesting one, be proactive. Because it's your time, and are you making the most of it? Your time is very precious here. We need to make the most of it. Resist negative influences and use your time for good. And then it says, there's 3 ways to walk. I'm like, I never read Ephesians, so this is like, oh, cool, 3 ways to walk. Walk in love as imitators of good. How would you walk? I don't know. How do you walk? Are you an imitator of good as you walk around Reading? Walk in light, remembering that we have experienced the darkness, and now we're in the light. Oh boy, is that a nice place to be. And then walk in wisdom by making good use of our time. Now in Isaiah 43-2, God's promises to be present with us through our trials. Not that the trials won't happen. It assures us that when we're facing overwhelming difficulties, they won't totally consume us. God is with us. We have God's constant support. Jesus said, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you, through the rivers, and they shall not overflow you. So in chaotic times, we know we'll pull through this. We'll pull out of this. Pray, practice meditation, mantras, all these things will help us move beyond. And it says, when you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, nor shall the flame scorch you. Metaphorically, that's in times of grieving. And I sure know that one. There's 5 of us from the center here that are our grief support group, and we did 30 weeks, I think, weekly, and now we meet every other week, and we don't want to stop. We don't want to stop because we learn little tricks of how to be when the tsunami of grief comes, because it still happens. It still happens. Now, when the Israelis faced exile, they knew God would come through in their hardship. That is one of the toughest groups of people in the world. But in a moderate application, we don't face challenges alone. Whether we have a health issue, or a relationship issue, or can't pay the bills, because we share in the eternal light, and going to the eternal light and the assistance of the One is the way to go. And then we listen. We listen deeply. So I want to close with a poem. It's only part of a poem by Praveen Kumar, and it's called Inner Light. So if you would just take this in. An eternal lamp is lit in you. It sheds the light of conscience, pure and glowing like the morning dew. It awakens our soul to the conscious world. Focus your soul on its inner glow. Listen to what the soul says to you. What you hear is the right judgment. Stick to it like life does to sunlight. I was thinking, like roses do to sunlight. Stick to it. The light in you is gentle and bright. Seek it, trace it, and make it your own. It sinks at ease in the darkness around, but wastes not a minute because it deeply imbibes it. The eternal lamp is lit in you. It shifts truths from the uncertainties. We can depend on it, and we can protect it. That inner strength is your wealth. An immortal spark of the cosmic light makes you a part of the cosmos. Live it and partake in the cosmic thrust of life. Judy? I'm going to close with something Earnest Holmes wrote that I thought might help, and I've gone over a little bit, but I think we'll live with that. Earnest Holmes' final conclusion was, what the world needs is more spiritual conviction, followed by spiritual experiences. He said he would rather see a student of this science of mind prove its principle than to repeat all the words of wisdom they've ever heard. And as you and I know, it's far easier to teach the truth than it is to practice it. Oh my. But the practice of truth is personal to each of us. And in the long run, no one can live our life for us. We're each given what we need, and the gifts of heaven come alike to all. How we shall use these gifts is all that matters. To hold our thoughts steadfastly to the constructive, to that which endures, and to the truth may not be easy in a rapidly changing world, but to the one who makes the attempt, much is guaranteed. The essence of spiritual mind healing and of all true religious philosophies is an inner realization of the presence of perfection within and around us. It is the hope of heaven, the voice of God proclaiming, I am that which thou art. You are that which I am. And so it is.
Come on up. I have to share something as we invite Brian up to chant some mantras with us, that I'm really partial to mantras. I start each morning, I lived in an ashram, and I start each morning chanting mantras, and then throughout the day I chant mantras, and then when I go to sleep I chant mantras. So thank you so much. I love it. Welcome again.
Judy was very sweet. When I first came in, she didn't even know me. And I was mentioning, I don't have a home. And she said, oh, you can stay with us. We never met before, so she knew. I'm a wanderer, I don't have a home, so I came many, many miles to see you. Actually, just this morning from a place called Susanville, and the snow was so heavy on the way here that my car wouldn't have made it through the heavy snow. So I happened to get behind a snowplow on the way as it was heavily snowing, and he cleared the way so I could actually be here today. So I wanted to, this is actually inspired by your talk. Oh. I was so happy to hear the inspiration of Jesus. Jesus is also one of my gurus as well. So I wanted to chant with you. The Aramaic mantra comes from the time of Christ for the Holy Spirit, to call the Holy Spirit into the room. They chanted these words, Ruka Dakucha, Ruka Dakucha, which means the Holy Spirit, the Holy Breath. She is the supreme goddess, the energy of the universe. So we'll chant it together. It's very easy too. Ruka Dakucha, 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 We just visualize the white dove descending upon this service. She's hovering above in the center of the room. And shining the light, filling the space. It's creating here a celestial realm.
Thank you again. Such beautiful energy and such an amazing message. Thank you. I would like to invite the ushers up now, please. So as I prepare to give my offering, my heart is filled with love and appreciation, since what is offered here is for my spiritual well-being. I'm filled with gratitude, knowing life stays in balance, for as I give, I receive. I give thanks for the blessed donations received in the offering this morning and during the week. For as I know, each dollar supports this spiritual family in many ways, as we grow together, pray together, and give thanks for all that this center has been blessed with today and always. And so it is. And now I'd like to invite Brian up to grace us with one more mantra, and then we'll conclude with the peace song after that.
So in the same theme of abundance, we invoke the presence of Lakshmi to bless our gathering and increase our abundance and our generosity. So the mantra is Lakshmi Mata Namo Nama. Lakshmi Mata Namo Nama. Namo Nama means I bow to the goddess of abundance. Lakshmi Mata Namo Nama. 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 Lakshmi Mata Namo Nama.
Thank you again. And now we will conclude with our peace song, and please join us after that in the social hall for some goodies, and then, of course, the workshop with Brian. Thank you.